Most people never realize that for almost all of human history, death was not something anyone could explain. There were no religions with written scriptures, no doctors, no science, and no words like life or afterlife. One day someone was laughing around a fire. The next morning they would never move again. To us, death seems inevitable. To our ancient ancestors, it may have been the greatest mystery they ever faced. And before they understood it, they had to decide one impossible question. What do you do with someone who simply never wakes up? Imagine living over 100,000 years ago. Every sound in the forest could mean danger. Every day was a struggle to find food before something else found you first. Your world was filled with predators, storms, disease, and uncertainty. Yet nothing was stranger than watching another human suddenly become still forever. Unlike a sleeping person, they did not breathe. They did not react to voices. Their warmth slowly disappeared. The body that had once hunted beside you was now something entirely different. At first, early humans may not have understood that death was permanent. Many animals don't appear to fully grasp its finality, and our ancestors may have shared that confusion. Some may have nudged the body repeatedly, waiting for movement. Others may have brought food or water, expecting the person to wake. The line between sleep, illness, and death would have been difficult to recognize without generations of experience. But another problem emerged almost immediately. A lifeless body changes quickly. Within hours, it begins attracting insects. Within days, predators and scavengers can smell it from remarkable distances. Ancient humans didn't need biology textbooks to notice this. They simply observed that keeping a body nearby brought danger. The smell grew stronger. Carnivores appeared more often. Disease may have spread, although they couldn't know why. So practical survival probably shaped humanity's first responses to death long before philosophy ever did. Some groups likely abandoned the body where the person died. Others may have dragged it away from camp to protect the living. In dangerous environments, there may not have been time for ceremonies or mourning. Survival came first. Every hour spent with the dead was an hour not spent finding food or avoiding predators. Yet something unexpected began happening. Archaeologists have discovered ancient sites where bodies were not simply discarded. Instead, they were placed carefully into pits. Sometimes the knees were folded toward the chest, almost like the position of a sleeping child. In some cases, tools, animal bones, pigments, flowers, or ornaments accompanied the dead. These discoveries suggest that by at least 100,000 years ago, and perhaps earlier in some regions, certain human groups were treating the dead with intention, although scholars still debate exactly what those practices meant. This raises an astonishing possibility. What if humans began creating rituals before they understood why death existed? A ritual doesn't require scientific knowledge. It requires emotion. When someone important disappears, the mind desperately searches for something it can still do. Covering a body with earth, placing a favorite tool beside them, gathering together in silence. These actions may not have answered death's mystery, but they gave the living a sense of purpose during overwhelming loss. The remarkable thing is that humans are not entirely alone in this behavior. Elephants have been observed lingering near the bones of dead relatives, gently touching them with their trunks. Chimpanzees sometimes remain beside deceased companions for hours or even days. Dolphins have been seen supporting dead calves at the water's surface long after there is hope of survival. These animals may not understand death as humans do, but they appear to recognize that something profound has changed. Our ancestors inherited similar emotional instincts, yet they possessed one extraordinary advantage: imagination. Humans could remember the past in vivid detail. We could imagine futures that had not happened. We could ask questions no other animal seemed capable of asking. Where did they go? Will they come back? Can they still see us? If dreams brought familiar faces back to life each night, perhaps death did not seem entirely permanent after all. Imagine dreaming about a parent who had died months before. In the dream, they speak, laugh, and walk beside you exactly as before. Without neuroscience to explain dreaming, the experience might have felt completely real. Many anthropologists believe dreams may have influenced some of humanity's earliest beliefs about spirits or continued existence, although the exact origins remain impossible to prove. Slowly, another uniquely human ability transformed death forever: storytelling. Around ancient fires, memories became narratives. The brave hunter who faced the giant aurochs, the grandmother who always knew where water could be found, the child who laughed louder than anyone else. Each story allowed someone who was physically gone to continue existing inside the minds of others. In a sense, culture itself may have grown from humanity's refusal to let the dead disappear completely. As human societies became more complex, burial practices became more elaborate. Red ochre, a vivid mineral pigment resembling blood, appears in several prehistoric burials across Africa and Eurasia. Whether it symbolized life, rebirth, or something entirely different remains unknown. The truth has been buried with the people themselves. Archaeology can uncover objects, but it cannot recover beliefs. That uncertainty is one of the greatest challenges in understanding our ancestors. Did they believe believe in an afterlife? Did they fear ghosts? Did they think death was caused by invisible forces? Or were their actions simply expressions of grief, without any supernatural meaning? The evidence cannot answer these questions with certainty. Every burial is like a sentence with most of its words erased. Researchers reconstruct possibilities, but some mysteries may never be solved. What is clear, however, is that death changed humanity in ways few other experiences could. It encouraged cooperation. Caring for injured or elderly individuals became meaningful because relationships mattered. Losing someone created emotional pain powerful enough to unite entire groups. Shared grief strengthened social bonds. Communities that supported one another during loss were likely more resilient than those that did not. Even our brains may have evolved under the influence of mourning. Humans possess an extraordinary ability to form deep emotional attachments. The cost of those attachments is grief. But the benefit is trust, cooperation, and family, qualities that helped our species survive environments where no individual could survive alone. Ironically, our awareness of death may have become one of humanity's greatest evolutionary advantages. Knowing life ends encourages planning. It encourages protecting children, passing on knowledge, creating traditions, and building societies that outlast individuals. Many animals live in the present. Humans learn to think beyond their own lifetimes. Today, science explains what happens inside the body when life ends. We understand cells, organs, decomposition, and disease. Yet even with all our knowledge, the emotional experience of losing someone remains strikingly similar to what our ancestors likely felt tens of thousands of years ago. We still gather together. We still tell stories. We still preserve photographs, treasured objects, and memories. We still search for meaning in moments that seem impossible to explain. Perhaps that is the deepest connection we share with those ancient humans. Before they understood death, they did something even more important. They cared. They mourned. They remembered. And in choosing to remember the dead instead of simply abandoning them, they may have unknowingly taken one of the first steps toward becoming fully human.